Flood damage to Grenada's National Stadium forces the postponement of a main carnival event. And in sport, more gold for the Caribbean at the CAC Games. I'm Nicole Best, and this is the Caribbean in 10 for Friday, August 3rd. I'll be back with the details after the break. Damage to the ground floor of Grenada's National Stadium due to flooding from recent rains has led to the postponement of one of the island's main carnival events. Spice Mass Corporation says the 2018 Kiddies Carnival will now be held on August 11th instead of tomorrow as originally scheduled. The new date for Kiddies Carnival is also the same date for the junior and senior panorama competitions. The decision to postpone the event was made yesterday following a tour and inspection of the facility. Chief Executive Officer of the Spice Mass Corporation, Kirk Seaterhall, says the stadium needs to be sanitized before it can be used. On Wednesday, Grenada recorded 6 inches of rain in the Point Salines area and more in other parishes. Following an emergency meeting of the National Emergency Advisory Council, the government declared the parishes of St. George's and St. David's disaster zones. More than 60 landslides were recorded in the parish of St. David, while the figure for St. George's is yet to be finalized. Meanwhile, the National Disaster Management Agency, NADMA, and the Meteorological Office at the Maurice Bishop International Airport are monitoring a second tropical wave that is expected to affect Grenada and its dependencies this weekend. According to the weather outlook provided by the Met Office, a tropical wave extends its axis across the central Atlantic along 55 west between 7 degrees north and 19 degrees north. This wave is moving west at 10 to 15 knots. A release from NADMA stated that the country can expect showery activity and isolated thunderstorms on Saturday, adding that given the saturation of the soil after Wednesday's heavy rains, the possibility of flooding is even higher. NADMA maintains that the country is not under any cyclone watch or warning, but is encouraging citizens to activate their emergency plans for their homes and businesses. Dominica's Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit has announced that the Ross University School of Medicine will close its doors on the island after 40 years. At a media brief this morning, Skerrit said the university, which was badly damaged during the passage of Hurricane Maria last year, had been in discussions with government for the last 10 months in an attempt to find a solution to its rebuilding problem. The university had temporarily relocated to the United States in the immediate aftermath of the hurricane due to the extensive damage to its campus. The Prime Minister said he is satisfied that the university has done all that it could have under the circumstances.
Since Maria, the officials of Dominica have been in constant contact with officials of Ross to see how we could cushion the impact of Maria. Over the last 10 months, we explored all options that one could think of in our discussions with Ross. At the end of the day, the officials of Ross, like any other business person, reserve and exercise the right of the shareholders and the many interests to include but not limited to parents, students, faculty, and sponsors.
The West Indies Oil Company is set to list on the Eastern Caribbean Stock Exchange before the end of the year, and that's according to Chief Executive Officer Gregory Georges. We get more in this report from Garfield Burford of ABS Television in Antigua.
Profits at WEOC surged to $21 million in 2017, a significant increase over the roughly $16 million a year earlier. A little over two-thirds of that was paid out in dividends, with the government receiving over $7 million as the majority shareholder. Those monies will be reinvested in the national asset management company NAMCO to generate even more returns for the public purse. WEOC is now eager to expand its footprint and its revenues, but in a capital-intensive industry that requires significant funding. Equity financing presents an option by listing on the Eastern Caribbean Stock Exchange. I asked Mr. Georges about plans for a listing by November this year.
I think we just completed our, as you can see, our audit. There's a process. We work through the stock exchange. We've already spoken to the exchange. There has to be further discussions at higher levels, obviously, but it is realistic. We think we have what we call a great story to tell, where we've been, what we've come to, and where we're going.
The stock exchange listing would be an extraordinary signpost on an amazing odyssey for this company.
I told the Honourable Prime Minister yesterday, I said, what business in the world that you really get, he didn't, as he mentioned publicly, that he didn't really take a cent from the Treasury to purchase it, and yet they've received dividends of almost $20 million in the last 3 years.
He now has grand expansion plans. The aim is to have a second berth by the end of this year.
Stay with us. Your midday sport is next.
This hurricane tip comes to you compliments the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency and the Caribbean Media Corporation. Be prepared. When you are preparing for a hurricane, remember to help your family, neighbors, and community prepare also.
Resurf just takes on a whole community of its own, and what's so great is that it's a surf community that you're building in other countries and other areas, and you're bringing these group of people together, and they don't need to speak the same language, but they can surf and they can ride that surfboard.
Barbados has struck gold again at the Central American and Caribbean Games in Colombia. 3 days after Shane Brathwaite won the men's 110 hurdle, he teamed up with Mario Burke, that's Burkhart Ellis, and Jaquan Hoyt to take the gold in the men's 4x100 meters relay. The quartet set a new national record when they crossed the finish line in 38.41 seconds, shaving 0.14 seconds off the previous record. The silver medal went to the Dominican Republic, while Jamaica took the bronze. Meanwhile, Laverne Spencer won the women's high jump yesterday as well to hand St. Lucia its first medal of the game. She cleared 1.90 meters to win her third consecutive CAC title, and Trinidadian Keshawn Walcott added the 2018 CAC javelin title to his growing resume. The 25-year-old 2012 Olympic champion produced a winning 84.47 meters on his final throw to snatch the gold medal. It is his first CAC javelin title. Grenada's Anderson Peters had to settle for silver even after assuming the lead on his fourth throw of 81.80 meters. He has seemed destined for the gold medal after he overtook Walcott, who had opened with a throw of 81.78 meters. And that's the Caribbean in 10. Join us at 6:30 for Caribbean Newsline. Until then, do have yourselves a good afternoon.